Big TOEFL update. Starting January 21st, 2026, the TOEFL IBT course will completely change. And this isn't just any update, this is the biggest change that TOEFL has had in 60 years. And if you don't know what's coming, you can waste so much time studying the wrong way. What's up, gang? I'm Reggie from Reggie English, and I've helped thousands of students pass the TOEFL exam, and hundreds have gotten over 100 points on their TOEFL score. But this new TOEFL 2026 exam, it's completely different. It's shorter, faster, and completely redesigned because it really wants to test your real world English speaking. So the memorization stuff, learning templates, and everything else, well, that's a part of the past, but don't worry, you can still practice for it. So are you ready? Let's break it down section by section. First up, let's talk about reading. If you remember, in the version we're doing right now, you have 2 passages, and in 35 minutes, you have to race the clock and you have to read 2 700-word passages and basically answer the questions as quickly as you possibly can. But in the new TOEFL, you're going to have both academic and real-life text. So that's basically going to include ads, it's going to include social media posts, text messages, anything that you would see normally in real life. So instead of the 2 passages that we had last time, this is going to be replaced with 3 tasks. First, we're going to have complete the word. So basically you're going to have a sentence and you have to fill in the letters to make sure that that sentence is complete. And number 2, we'll have read in daily life. So in this section, you're basically going to have to answer quick, short responses from real life texts. And the third part is you're basically going to have to read an academic passage. Now this academic passage is going to have about 200 words, and we're going to have to answer up to 5 questions from the text that we read. And personally, I think that this is actually pretty good because it's basically for people that know how to speak English in real life, or if you're used to watching TV or reading news articles, or if you like me, you like NBA. So this stuff is what we're used to anyway, so if you're used to real life stuff, this will actually be much easier for people that are accustomed to that. Now let's talk about the listening section. So if you remember, before we used to have conversations and lectures. Now it's gonna be a bit different. Instead of just 2, we're going to have 4. We're going to have everyday conversations, we're going to have lectures, we're going to have announcements, and we're also going to have a brand new one where you basically have to listen to it and then you have to choose the correct response. So this one really will test how well can you survive in everyday American life, because it's not just listening, but if you notice in everyday American conversation, when people are talking, you need to understand the tone when they're talking. The tone can really transmit meaning. So if you have problems listening and understanding tone, it's really important to start now practicing listening to different things like maybe TV, American drama, stuff like that, so you can get your ear acquainted to the different tones. So now you're gonna have to switch the way that you actually prepare for listening. Instead of just focusing on listening for vocabulary or academic speech that we're used to, now we have to listen to the meaning behind what people say. If you can get that, you're on your way. So now we're going to switch gears to the writing section. For a long time in the writing section, we always had a paragraph that we had to read, then we had to listen to a lecture, so that was called integrated writing. That integrated writing section is no longer here, it's going to be eliminated, but the academic discussion section will stay the same. So if you've been practicing the academic discussion section, that's great, because that's not going to change at all. So keep practicing writing short, academic style posts, because it can go a long way. But on top of that, now we have 2 new tasks. It's called build a sentence and also write an email. In the build a sentence section, we basically have to read a sentence, see what's wrong grammatically with it, fix it up, and that's going to show our grammar mastery. And for the email response, we have to sit down, read an email, a real life scenario will happen on that email, and we have to write a clear, polite response that just shows that we know how to use our English well and that we're confident responding to emails in English. So we're starting to see a lot of changes there with the writing section from the last time. Before, they cared about really long academic passages to show how much you can write in a short, specific time. But now they really care about practicality, clarity, and also if we know how to use good vocabulary in a very small time. So if you're not practicing it already, make sure you double down on concise, well-structured academic post. Also, make sure your grammar is clean when you're fixing those grammar mistakes, and also that you have a natural, polite tone in your email responses. Okay, now we're going to talk about the one that you've all been waiting for since the beginning of the video, I'm sure. Let's get that drum roll going. We're going to talk about the speaking section. Now that one is completely different than any of the TOEFL sections that we've had in the last 60 years. So definitely pay attention, take some notes on this section of the video. All 4 old sections of the TOEFL exam for the speaking section are completely different and they're gone. So the independent section, the campus section, the integrated section where we had to define a word and explain that definition, that's gone. And number 4, the lecture, that's also gone. In its place, it might actually be a little bit easier for us. We have 2 tasks now, and those sections are called listen and repeat, and also the interview section. So let's take a dive into those 2 sections now so we know what to do. So let's start with the listen and repeat section.
Welcome to the student dining hall.
Welcome to the student dining hall.
Please return your tray when finished.
Please return your tray when finished. So basically in this task, we're going to hear 7 different sentences, and those sentences progressively will get harder and harder. But don't worry, you don't have to respond to those sentences. What we have to do is listen and repeat. It's simple as that. So I think it's actually good that we already know that it's going to get progressively difficult, because if we already know that, we're not going to freak out when we see that it's starting to get a little bit harder for us. We're gonna be ready and we're gonna keep going. Now, these 7 sentences can range from anything. It could be directions, it could be a location on a map, it could be a small explanation about something. Whatever that is, it's gonna be okay, because they are going to give us a small clue or a picture as we're speaking the sentences that we hear. So this task checks 4 things. It checks how good your pronunciation is. It also checks your memory and recall, your precision under pressure, and also your rhythm and intonation. So here's how it's scored. It's on a scale of 0 to 5, 5 being the highest score you can possibly get, and obviously 0 would be the worst. So if you get a 5, then that basically means that you repeated it exactly as they said it, your intonation was good, and it was easy for them to understand what you were saying. A level 4 score would mean that you had some minor grammatical errors there, maybe some word changes, but the meaning was still intact. If you get a 3, then that means that it was mostly correct, but you're missing some content or you're missing some clarity. If you get a 1 or a 2, that means it was very difficult for them to understand and the meaning was changed. And if you get a 0, then that basically means that you were saying something that was completely off topic. So don't worry, it's going to be very difficult for you to get a 0. So here's a pro tip. Start voice shadowing now. Turn on some YouTube videos, listen to someone's voice, some English clips, press play, repeat it, record yourself, listen to see if it's the same way that you're recording. Do it again until your voice starts to imitate their voice almost 100%. You can use many platforms for this. There's many ways that you can. If you want, already on reggieEnglish.com, we have the online self-guided TOEFL course where you can do that there. So definitely no pressure there, but if you feel like that's something that can help you, the TOEFL self-guided course will be a really good option for you. So this is good because it starts to train your listening memory, and you're going to start to see that your accent will start to resemble native accent. You're going to start to sound like an American, and I can't wait to hear you. Okay, now task 2 is the take an interview section. So that's really similar to the IELTS style. The only thing that's different from the IELTS is, well, you're sitting in front of a computer and you're talking to a pre-recorded interviewer. But it's okay because it does feel more natural and it sounds like a short interview where you hear some questions and you respond to the question that they give you. So first you're going to hear a quick introduction, and then you're going to respond to about 3 to 4 follow-up questions. And the topics can range from daily routine to entertainment, transportation, decision-making, and even school experiences. So in this section, the ETS is basically looking for, is your answer clear? Is it natural? Do you have clear organization? Is your vocab good? Is your grammar organized? Are you making a lot of grammar mistakes? And actually, I think the most important one, Do you sound like a human, or do you sound like you're reading some template? If you have some memorized templates that you normally do, it's time for you to basically get that out the way right now, because they just want to make sure that you sound like a person. If you do, you're going to be great. So the scoring from this one again is from 0 to 5. If you get a number 5, then that means that you're fluent, you sound confident. A number 4 score means that it's clear, it's relevant, but you're missing transition words like and, but, so. A number 3 score means that you can't really explain what you're saying. They give you a question and you just give the answer and then you stop. So make sure whatever you answer, try to explain it, and if you can, even give an example. And a number 1 to number 2 score means that you almost said nothing, or it's not really understandable at all. And a 0 means you just didn't answer the question at all. But again, that's not something that you're gonna do, so you don't have to worry about 0. So to train for this one, it's pretty simple. You can go to ChatGPT and then just put in topic-based mini interviews. You'll get many topics that you can choose from. Record your voice, see how it sounds, make sure you sound natural. Again, if you need reggieEnglish.com, you can go there and you can have the same thing. One of our graders can listen to your voice as well. There are many ways you can do it, but just make sure that you started practicing now before we get to January 2026. You got this. I know you're gonna do great. So when you record your voice, make sure that you can continue speaking for 45 seconds nonstop. If you can get into a routine of being able to do that without getting nervous, well, we're always gonna be nervous a little bit, right? But if you can do it without stopping, you're going to be in the right place. So now we're seeing for both TOEFL speaking tasks, the focus has shifted from templates and concise answers to natural, adaptable, clear, to authentic conversational English with a good tone. So in these tasks, your confidence, your rhythm, and your ability to keep speaking, that's what's going to help you to get a high score. So now let's talk about the speaking scoring system and also the implications of that system. So you saw from both tasks, we have about 11 questions that they're going to ask you in total. That's 7 from the listen and repeat section, and also 4 questions from the interview section. So each of these questions gets a score of 0 to 5 each, right? So that means that we're gonna have a raw score of 50 points total. So what the ETS is going to do is they're going to convert all of the points that you get into a band score. So if you think about IELTS, you know, IELTS has a band score from 0 to 9. Well, TOEFL speaking has a score of 0 to 6. And that's exactly what your university is going to get. If you have a band 6, then that means that you're a C2 to a native level, 5 to 5.5 is C1, 4 to 4.5 is B2, and so on. So try really hard to get a high band score, because that's what the university is going to see. Your goal should be to get around 5+ bands, because that shows natural, clear communication, good vocabulary, and that avoids memorized template answers. So let's talk strategy. This new format completely changes the way that you should prepare. So because we can't practice a template memorized answer anymore, let's shift our focus. Let's focus on repetition accuracy, basically repeating exactly what we hear, fluent, continuous speech, listening and shadowing skills, and make sure that you have high academic vocabulary, but that you're clear and easy to understand, and make sure that you keep speaking until time runs out. And wherever you're practicing, please make sure that the person will give you real feedback. You don't want that friend that just tells you, oh, it sounds good. You want somebody that really tells you how to improve and who's gonna be honest with you. That person is a true friend. So if you get a friend like that, you're gonna be good. And don't forget, if you need the TOEFL online self-guided course, you will have that, and our staff will give you the feedback that you need as well. Another good thing about this TOEFL exam is before it was 2 hours, now it's just going to be done in 90 minutes. And when you take the test, you're going to get feedback in just 3 days. So you don't have to waste your time waiting to see if you're going to get your feedback or not, or if you did well or not. You're going to know in 3 days, so you can take the test again really quick if you need to. But don't worry, hopefully you practice in a way where you only have to take it one time. So this will be much faster, much less exhausting. It's actually a good sign. You don't have to freak out with this new change. So you're probably asking yourself, should you take this test now, or should you wait until the new change that's coming in January? Well, that's really up to you. You have to consider these 2 factors. If you're stronger in academic style writing, academic style speech, and essay writing, well, it's probably best for you to take it now. Or if you need to send your scores to your university as soon as possible, get it out the way now. But if you focus more on basic, normal, conversational style English, you feel comfortable adapting quick to different questions, well, then it's probably best for you to wait until January. So really, you just have to choose what's best for you. You can't go wrong with either one. You just have to know yourself well. So for you guys that stayed for the entire video to watch from beginning to end, I have a nice gift for you. Just look here in the description below. You're going to see a free TOEFL speaking cheat sheet for the new version of the test. I hope you like it. And if you like this video, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, TOEFL Warriors. And gang, it was nice to talk to you again. I'll see you in the next video.